Hi everybody, it's Az here from Hill vs Babyface, and if there's one thing that I love to do, and it doesn't matter whether it's the live servers, the beta servers or the PTR servers, it's go round and kill rare elites. I've already got my glorious achievement on the servers at the moment, and that's to kill the 56 rare elites that are on offer on Pandora itself. And thankfully, in patch 5.2, Blizzard have added a ton more Zandalari rare elites that consist of both Warscouts and Warbringers. Now, the Warscouts you shouldn't need any more than a couple of people to kill. In fact, I've actually managed to kill them solo, but I am a pet class, so I do think I have a wee bit of an advantage there. But they are dropping some very interesting items indeed, especially if you're struggling to get reputation, because these stolen insignias will add 1,000 rep to a specific faction within the game, and they are bind on account. So again, like me, if you are exalted with all the factions, you can send it to one of your alts and it will help them gain reputation with that set faction. Because let's face it, Mr. Pandora is about as friendly to alts as a dog is to a postman. They just absolutely hate them, and it's become a real grind. And that's one of the big issues, I think, with Mr. Pandora. There's lots of stuff that they have got right, and if you do spend the time to go around the game finding little nuances, you'll find some great rare elites, some great little treasures hidden away. But when it comes down to the crux of the matter, it's just swapped dungeon grinding for daily grinding. They really need to get it right. They really need to get a balance. And oh my god, it nearly killed me. But the Warbringers are the toughies. They're the one that you need a proper party to kill. However, you don't need 5 people, and you don't really need a tank and a healer. The Hunter and I are basically bouncing the threat between our 2 tank pets. He's got a turtle, I've got my Void Lord. And then we don't have any healers at all. So we're self-healing those 2 tanks. So if one of them dies, we just simply press our res button, or we recast to get one back into the fight while the other tank takes the brunt. These rare elites, though, are scattered all over the place. Now, the 2 that I've just shown you in Kun-Lai Summit, yes, I didn't bring the map up. And before you start raging away, this is the map for the Jade Forest. I thought the little clues in the background would be quite funky for you to work out where they are. So if you want, pause the video, go back, and you'll see some very distinctive things in the background. But the Warscouts and the Warbringers are always close to each other. The Warscouts will walk a certain path. The Warbringers are constantly stationary. So if you see one, the other is close by. With them, there is no smoke without fire. It's very interesting indeed. Before I do the looting, I think I will res the dead. So there we go. What we've got a small bag of goods, and we've also got a Golden Lotus insignia this time. Now, the small bag of Zandalari supplies is very much like the small bag of goods that you can get if you kill a rare elite at the moment. And they do tend to have some very nice mats contained within them, whether or not it be Kyparium ore, or Trillium ore, black or white, various herbs, etc, etc. Now, going into Crossrang Wilds now, if you look in front of me now, you'll see Unga Ingoose. That should give a big hint of where I am actually attacking this Warbringer. And they do have some nice little abilities which can catch you out. They do a mass fear. They bring a load of little adds into the fight as well, which can be burnt down very quickly. And they also can do a Meteor Shower, which I'll get to a little later on. But they can contain various bits of loot within them. We've got a couple of insignias this time, 3 in fact. We also got a small bag and a big bag of Zandalari supplies. You can also, if you're lucky enough, manage to win that dire horn as a mount as well. And in this instance, in the big bag, I've won 2 epics. It's just a shame that one of them is actually soulbound. The other one, of course, was bind on equip. But again, they could be very useful for either your class if you're tackling this at a lower level, or for various alts if you want to pass the bind on equip one. And again, there's no smoke without fire. You can see in the distance where we've just fought the dire horn, and this is the Warscout, which is literally just walking along the peripheral of the forest before it hits the beach. Now, the Meteor Shower ability that I was speaking about earlier is pretty much a reskin of the Jinyan ability, Rain Dance. What it does is it just sprouts these meteors in various directions, as you can clearly see, and if one lands on top of you, then it'll hit you for significant damage. If you saw earlier in the vid, I think one struck me for around about 250,000. But look, this Warscout's also dropped a big bag of Zandalari supplies, just like the group Rare Elite. So it's good to see that that isn't the only one that can. In this instance, it's dropped a load of tailoring supplies. It's a shame I'm an enchanter and jewel crafter. Never mind, it's just a PTR. But as we're about to tackle the next one, which is in the Dread Waste, I popped up the map as to where it was. First of all, the Warscout, when we were fighting this mob, kept walking back and forth through the fight without aggroing in. So it was very easy for us to track where it was going to go once we destroyed it. And secondly, Death Knights. Just want to bring you back into the equation again, because after we did all this, I decided to go round and just look for a few of them anyway. And I discovered a Blood Elf, so that's a Hordey, because I'm Alliance, of course, a Blood Elf Death Knight tackling one of them solo. And from what I can gather by their HP levels, they were pretty much at the entry-level gear, the 463 item level gear. They had about 440-odd-K health, but they managed to get that group mob down to about 35-40% of its health before it actually died, and it was in control of the fight for rather a lot of it. So I was just staying back to allow them to see whether or not they could solo it. When they got killed and they respawned, I allowed them to do the pull again, and then I joined in. And I and the Death Knight just two-manned that group mob. So I think it is all dependent on what classes you manage to get. So if you do have the Death Knight friend that can tank, then I would seriously think about dropping them some extra chocolate in their box and asking them if they'd be so kind as to help you out, as we're just about to demolish the poor old Warscout. So I think, if I've got this correct, we've only got one more zone of Rare Elites, and this is in Town Long Steps, where we tackle the 5-man mob, and this is where things got pretty funky for me. And I've got to give a massive thank you to the 3 people that were helping me kill all these ads. That's Crotin, Doomsailor, and Furia Vesta, because they allowed me to put it onto free for all loot. So I was basically looting everything for the purposes of the video. And on our very final mob, or should I say the very final Rare Elite that can drop a mount, I was lucky enough to actually get one. And I will show you it right at the end of the video, but there it was for now. And in this case, it did actually drop rather a lot of sexy stuff as well, so I was pretty happy with that. So these Rare Elites aren't just an addition to the Glorious Achievement. They each have a lot of great items which you can use for either yourself, for your alts, or mounts, which of course we all dearly love, and they're spread of course around the account. But again, before we see the mount in action, there's no smoke without fire. The Warscout was on the same pathway right nearby, and then we just decided to pop him off. I think it only drops one of the reputation stolen insignias when it does. But yeah, so thank you ever so much, guys, for allowing me to do all this. You were really great company, very nice to be with, and I hope we can do it again. I, of course, cannot end the video without showing you the mount. Look at it. Isn't it gorgeous? And I believe it also comes in different flavours too. This is the amber one. I think it comes in stone and also in jade. Although I'm a bit kind of, where's the amber on this mod? You know, I think it's just the seat that's amber. So maybe it's just the seat that changes colour. But there's its mount special ability. That was pretty cool as well. So I hope you enjoyed the vid, guys. Please do like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter and like my Facebook. And I shall be back with some more Funky Patch stuff very soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.